I'm Renee Richel, the founder and president of One True Match. I'm here to help you find and cultivate the love of your life. For over a decade, I've dedicated my life to the importance, purpose, and dynamic of human relationships. My team and I are disciplined by faith, love, and integrity to help our clients find the quality relationship they've always dreamt of. Each week, I will be sharing the tools and tips I've learned that have rooted my success as a matchmaker with other leaders around the world.
Hello, loves, and welcome back. I'm so excited to talk about this next topic that I feel is being asked all over the place, over and over and over again. Is why is it so hard to meet the love of your life in today's day and age where we have unlimited amount of resources and connections and opportunities, well as platforms and apps and there's matchmakers and things like that. Why is it so hard to find love today? Right? That's a great question. So I wanted to come on to talk about this because the reality of it is that I always say it's almost like everybody has too many options now, and they have really taken away the art of dating to what has now become such a mundane routine that either people are fed up from it, they're exhausted by it, they would never go on an app. And so, how do you meet people today? When back in the day, if you think about it, when people were meeting individuals, you were either meeting them in your community, meeting them in your neighborhood, you were meeting them at school, you were meeting them at work professional events and things like that, networking. There's a lot more larger corporations that people were going into instead of working from home day. So I'm here to tell you, first of all, if you're listening to this, I'm excited. If I've never met you before, I want to. I'm excited to, be a part of hopefully your journey to give you the right tips and the right advice and pass this along to any friends that may be looking for good advice of how to meet the love of their life. The number one reason why I feel people aren't meeting the right person, and I say this again over and over in other podcasts, so please listen to some other topics that we have on like dating and single tips and things like that, is we stand in our own way. And a lot of that has to go into the root of where that comes from. So, time and time again, when we talk to our clients and we're constantly like getting their life story and really trying to hear their relationship journey, their relationship experience, where they've been, their childhood, just all the steps in life, their journey that God has led them to at this moment to truly be ready to say, I want to give it to an expert. I want to step away of trying to do it on my own, and I want to trust my heart with you in the Lord. The next step that usually comes with that journey that we put every client through in a loving and caring way is diving into not only past, talking about the present, but also thinking about the future. And not just thinking about the future as we do singly in our own single mind, but also thinking about what a future will look like with somebody. So it's important before you start dating, it's important before you even come to us as a client. And when you're filling out a profile as a match, is to really think about what it is that you definitely don't want in a relationship, but also the things that you now know that you need in a relationship. And we work with clients all different ages, anywhere from mid 20s all the way up to their late 70s, right? So we're dealing with multiple different personalities, all different age ranges, all different stories, all different talents, all different skills, and all different desires. And so many times, what we hear over and over and over and over again is they just can't find somebody that, obviously they click with, that's like minded, that they share the same morals, values, beliefs, and just, I guess I would say, mission of togetherness that is so lost in today's day and age. As the more and more time we spend single, the more and more we get independent in our ways and our expectations. And so if you're somebody that has not dated in a very long time or ever dated, I want you to look at yourself in the mirror and also say, what is it that I can do better for myself to be able to allow the right person to come in my life? And maybe we're being too critical, maybe we're being too judgmental, maybe we're being too hard on ourselves because the world always wants to tear us down, which is Satan and our Christian, obviously, beliefs, right? And so, have we gotten ourselves into a place where we're allowing those bad mindset, traits to come into the forefront of our life to not be able to come overcome those hurdles? And so it's really important. Or if you're somebody that you've dated a lot and you're just wondering, like, how come I keep going on these same dates and keep getting the same result, which was exactly my journey and my whole story of why I got into matchmaking really in the beginning. Was I know what it's like to be out there. I know what it's like to date. I absolutely 100% am with you on the challenge that it does have, and it does take on your just whole spirit, your energy, your thought process, the way that you live your life and the things that you do. But I am also here to tell you that it does truly exist, and that right person God is preparing for you, as well as preparing them to meet you at the right time at the right place. And as a matchmaker with plethora amount of resources, community, love angels, prayer warriors, I mean our team matchmakers, and just our referrals of clients and matches that people give us because they're out there testifying and giving testimonies of their true love and people wanting it more and more. The reality of it is you've got to get involved in trying different things to create a different mindset, to create a different person, and 100% get out of your own way of what has been clouding you to be able to find this right person. Now, again, if you're somebody that doesn't want to do online dating, right, because there's that fear, or maybe there's that constant rejection, and a study just came out that 75, or I think it's 70% of men that are online are not finding their true love, right? Because there's also more men online than there are women. Because time and time again, when we survey and we ask those questions, it's because how else would they meet somebody, and they're not going to go up and approach somebody in a public setting not knowing anything about them? Which I also feel like, going back to the old school way, if you're interested and you want to get to know somebody, then just go up and talk to them. But again, that's me being a little bit more extroverted of personality too. But is to try to think of different ways when you're connecting with people to go at it in a different approach. So, one thing I always love to share is, like, when you're out there dating, as matchmakers, we ask all the basic questions, which again kind of gets you into a mundane routine, and you go on a date. And then you can't wait to either, I hate to say it, but leave, or like kindly excuse yourself. And then you go on the next date, you keep going to the next date. You start to almost lose hope by going on so many dates. So, my not number one, but one of many tips is to go on less dates instead of more, but have like a dry rehearsal run before you even start going on the dates. Some of the questions that I love to ask or share with my couples when they're going out and meeting for the first time are like fun questions instead of the same routine questions that, of course, we ask everybody prior. So our clients feel like they're on the third or fifth date by the time they actually meet that person. And there are relationships that have been together for 4 or 5 weeks, and they feel like they've been together for 4 or 5 years in a very loving and exciting way, because we've done all the legwork for them to truly know somebody. We've asked all the big topic questions up front. So there's no big moments or things that happen 6 to 9 months down the road, because we've gotten all that out of the way. And why they fall in love so quick when they meet the right person is because A, God has prepared both of them to meet at that moment. B, they both have done the work that it takes to truly know and do what God wants them to do, which is to fall in love and be ready. So some of the fun questions I always ask when, or suggest when you're on a first date is like, what are three things on your bucket list, right? How fun and exciting is that? It gets you off the topic about talking about an ex. Never talk about an ex. Never talk about the past when it comes to an ex. At least for the first 3 to 5 dates, because you don't even know if you're going to get to the fourth date. And who wants to air all your dirty laundry out on the first date, right? Going back to some other fun questions is we say, what are like the top two adventures you've had in your life? What are things where you can kind of see, are they adventurous? Are they more like reserved? Does that align with your life? What are two things that you regret? Which that could also show humbleness. Can they admit to things that they've done wrong when people don't? That's a huge red flag, right? Nobody is perfect. Even it doesn't matter how old you are, even if you're in your 20s. There's things that you're going to regret that you know that you did that your parents probably got on you for, right? Or like friendships that change or just life happenings. And so like asking that question is really, really important. And what are the hardest life lessons to learn? So, what is the hardest life lesson you've had to learn? And what I mean by that is that will also again put somebody into a vulnerable topic of conversation to share with you who they are, you know, what's on their mind and their experiences without diving too deep of any type of relationship, maybe trauma or things that have happened, but also how they overcame those scenarios that'll show you how they'll overcome the future and the present. That's going to give you a really good, um, obviously vision of what the two of you would look like, not together, but yet what the partnership or the person you are thinking about dating or being in a relationship would be. Another question is like, what is one of your what is one of your childhood memories, right? And that's going to give you a good idea without diving too deep into too much, making people feel uncomfortable in a way that's fun, it's playful. You kind of get a good idea of like, did they have a good childhood? Were they loved? Were they loving? Do they have great relationships with their family and, or in friends? That's super important. People have great relationships with friends and family, and they also keep relationships long term. Another fun question that I always love to say is, are you in your dream job? Do you love what you do, right? These are great questions to be asking on these first dates. And what would you consider today being your greatest success? And some people, depending on what age you are, that can maybe be like a difficult question. But also, if you don't know yet, say maybe this is something that I would love and I'm working hard towards achieving to be my greatest success or my legacy in life, right? So I think dating is so hard today because there's A, too many options. There's B, too many people that are judging way too quick. There are like C, so many people that are not prepared and enriched before they actually go out and date. And so it really narrows down the window. And so, how can you be a better dater in today's day and age? First of all, reach out to us, send us a message, get involved in a group or a community. And we are so excited. We have so much coming up this year with just more community involvement for our prayer warriors, our singles, obviously, as well as our dating engaged couples and things like that. But going back to why is dating so hard today, it's because our lens is clouded with all of the stuff out there. So date with priority and intention in mind. And why, when I say priority, I just mean don't just go on a date with a bunch of hot, attractive people because they look great, they sound good, but you haven't asked any big questions. Because then all you're doing is chasing after an image, a one dimensional profile, and something that probably won't get to a second or third date because it was missing all of the development prior to meeting. Now, there is science proven of people meeting for the first time, never seen a picture, never seen a profile, and they take flight faster because there's something about that energy and like chemistry that happens in person, which I'm a firm believer of. But in today's day and age, I could never get my clients to go out with somebody without a picture, without a profile, without a connection. And that's truly because I also think that it's important that you hear audibly who somebody is because they're also not hiding behind a lens of what somebody's seeing. They're actually being more genuine and organic and just thoughtful with their feelings, which science will also prove that people actually connect stronger and deeper on a level when they can hear each other's voices. Another tip, get off texting. Everybody texts so much, which don't get me wrong. Our entire business is mostly communication, texting, phone calls, all of this, right? But when it comes to the importance in showing somebody that they're important, pick up the phone, schedule a phone call. I hear it all the time. I don't want to schedule a phone call. I feel like it's work. Well, we need to schedule a phone call because if we don't respect somebody's time, how are we ever going to have an engaging conversation? To have that excitement when you actually meet in person, and we have so much research done on when we introduce our clients to matches, and then of course, the love of their life, it's because of that powerful conversation that they had prior leading up to that excitement when they actually met in person, feeling like they already knew that person and were excited to meet a possible new best friend that the goal is to turn into a romantic relationship. By asking some of these questions that are just fun, that are interrogating, and are unique and different to really getting to know somebody off the boring generic questions and then adding in some of the additional questions that will just come up naturally in conversation, about family and kids and life and what they do and where they're from and all the other stuff. But starting it off with some of these questions that I just mentioned are a great way to start the energy right, are a playful way to kind of respond and obviously ask the question back, and also just kind of share that positive energy that you have inside of you. And I think too many times today is that people go into dates with the wrong mindset. So they're hopeful in the beginning, and then they continue to go on dates. And then they kind of just get to a point where this is just a routine. Well, I'll just, I'm going to stop thinking about this person in a romantic way. I'm just going to go on this and kind of get through it. And it's lost that zest. So if you're one of those people that are exhausted and burnt out from dating, please take a pause and stop dating. Figure out who it truly is that you need and want in a relationship. I know we've done tons of podcasts in this. The reason why our clients are so successful today is because truly they took the time out to have the conversation with God and really genuinely, not just surface, figure out not only the morals, values, beliefs, characteristic traits, and details, not down to like the clothing and the exact look and their eye color and all of that. I mean, the details when you've spent time thinking about and envisioning the energy, the spirit, the heart, the things that you're doing with this person so that it'll be that much more clear when you're actually choosing in conversation to meet with somebody today. The thing is, we're all going to age, we're going to look different. It's important to find somebody that's going to grow with you forever, that has the same like beliefs, the same passions, the same missions, the same desires in life, and to not get down when it doesn't work out or give up. That's not the right thing either. But to go down the right avenues of places where there's, like in our matchmaking world, obviously connecting to us, where we've got just a huge support community, and put yourself in the right places to prepare yourself, because when God knows you're ready, as he's been preparing the other person, which sometimes takes longer than you or vice versa. And when our clients share those stories, it's incredible how, like couples that are married today, they should have met a year earlier. They should have met 6 months earlier. But for whatever reason, that God was equipping them with the impossible task to make the impossible possible for the two of them, it was worth the wait. And it was because truly they've gone through the ups and downs and the journey that God has wanted them to go through. So I hope this has been helpful and beneficial. And I'm so excited when I get these questions. I hope that this is helping you to think about ways of whether it be the questions I've already suggested, or sit down and listen to some of our other podcasts of how to really figure out the roadmap to God, the roadmap to your future wife or husband, and then the roadmap for continual success forever. And it begins with you getting out of your own way, spending time quality with God, and really being the only word that comes to mind is like prioritizing who and when the right time is to meet somebody, and not just do it because you feel lonely, but truly do it because this is when you know it's the right time to focus on being the best version for you, but also be the best version for a mate to come into your life, so that the two of you can be just this power couple together in all things that are so much better than you can ever imagine. And one last thing is, all of our clients say who they started their life with after we introduced them is so much better than they could have ever imagined. So when you think they're going to be a certain age, they're going to be a certain height, they're going to look a certain way, blah, 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 it's never usually what that is, whether they're older than you or younger than you or whatever. It's never what you would probably have imagined. But jump into trying to be in a relationship with somebody that you wouldn't typically date, so that you have a different result. And please promise me that you will go at least on 3 to 5 dates with somebody if you're both having that curious mind, because you're asking the questions that I suggested, so that you're actually getting into dating somebody instead of just one first like date. So I hope you have found this helpful and beneficial, and please keep writing in, and we have so much more to come. Tune in every Thursday is when we have a new podcast coming out, and I can't wait for some new guests that are coming in this year, and just topics of things you are asking for us to talk about. Please share this. Please obviously listen to some of our other podcasts, and if you haven't filled out a profile, fill it out or send this to a friend, because we want to match every incredible Christian single heart that is ready for love to the love of their life. We're going to love and leave you, and hope you have a blessed day.
It's been another great talk on this episode of One True Talks by Renee Richel. I look forward to our next chat. Please write in your questions and comments so I can be sure to talk about whatever it is you want to discuss in our next upcoming episode. Lots of love. God bless. XOXO.